Producer, Dante DiLoretto. Co-creator and executive producer, Ian Brennan. And the cast, Diana Agron. Corey Monty. Leah Michelle. And Matthew Morrison. So the first question obviously has to be about Push It. I need for you guys to take me back to when you discovered you were going to do it, your reaction, how'd it go?
You know, I just say one thing. Really, before we do anything, really lucky enough to have the studio and the network here who were fearless enough to put this show on the air. And we just have to thank Kevin and Dana and Matt so much for giving us the opportunity to do something like this, because it's a little different than what else is on television. So thank you guys.
So push it.
Push it.
Push it. I think the first feedback we got when we were trying to put the dance number together was from Ryan, and he said, it needs to be more offensive.
But yeah, I mean, it was so much fun to do. Reading the script, I didn't think we would be as offensive as it was, but we had a lot of fun doing it. A lot of fun.
And for Matthew, same question, but for Kanye and Gold Digger.
I guess for me it was a stretch. You know, I grew up singing and dancing and doing mostly Broadway stuff, but I was so excited to kind of flex my rapping on a microphone muscles, you know. It was fun, and I'm going to be rapping in a couple other episodes as well.
So the show is like nothing else on television. I'm curious, for the producers, where did the idea come from?
It actually originated as a screenplay that I actually written in 2005. That then, about a year and a half ago, landed very randomly in Ryan Murphy's lap, and he was like, "Hey, I think this would make a good TV show." And then he pitched it. We totally reworked it. Ryan, Brad, and I pitched it to the network, who were like, "Great," and we were like, "This shouldn't be like High School Musical," and they're like, "Yep." Not that there's anything wrong with that. But yeah, and so over the course of maybe 18 months, it's gone from, it was just 3 people sitting in a room trying to conceive of it, and now we're here. So a very fast thing. I was in Glee Club in high school and never, that's right, except I'm pissed about it. Never really forgave myself for it, and it was just something that I realized that, like, God, nobody's ever written about this, and it's so right. It's funny and touching and weird and awesome and heartwarming, all those things put together, and no one had ever really done anything about it. And so I had kind of thought to myself, like, God, someone's got to write something about this, and if it's not me, I'm going to be angry. Anyway, and here we are.
All right.
And obviously the cast is very talented. They have to act and sing and dance. I'm wondering if you guys could tell us a little bit about your auditions.
Oh, what, I get to answer that question first?
Yeah.
Okay, my audition was, I'd never sung before for an audition, and so I had no idea how to do that. And so I basically showed up, and I was singing, what did I sing the first time? I sang Billy Joel Honesty was the song that I sang for audition. I knew that was going to happen. No, I can't sing it here, but...
Should we make him?
I have a cold. I can't sing it. I sing on the show, though. You can watch it. But no, originally when I sent a tape to Ryan Murphy to casting, I didn't consider myself a singer because I'd never sung in anything before. So I just conveniently left out the singing part of the audition. He played drums in his audition tape. He drummed as if that was the singing. That was good. It was a musical. Because I was like, I'm not going to get this job. There's no way. So I'm going to show them me playing the drums on Tupperware with unsharpened pencils. And that was good. And so I heard back that they wanted me to actually sing and send a tape with that. So I sent myself singing REO Speedwagon. And yeah, I don't know, that led to a test. And the test went well, and I found out 20 minutes after I left Fox that I got a job. So I was like, sweet.
I'm from New York, done music. And I come from a musical theater background. Actually, I've known Matt for a couple of years, having both been in Broadway shows. And I came to LA. Glee was one of the first auditions I went on. I fell in love with the script, and I fell in love with the character. I went in for my audition, and little did I know, throughout my audition, I was doing a lot of things that were very Rachel Berry. Like the piano player messed up the song, and I was like, "That's the wrong part of the song. You're messing it up." And at one point, I had to do a fake slap, and I actually slapped the reader, and everybody was laughing at me, and it was just, I thought it was terrible. And then I got called back for a studio network test, and I sang 2 songs, both musical theater songs. And
you crashed your car.
And I did crash my car. I had a little Mini Cooper in the time, and pulling into the Fox lot for my studio call, I think it was. I had a full-on collision with a van. It was totally their fault. And then I just left my crashed car in the middle of Pico, and took a golf cart up and had glass and little cuts on me, and was like, came in and they thought I was making it up to get sympathy. That's my story.
I was actually, ladies first, go ahead. Sorry.
I was the last person cast, so that was really stressful because it happened really quick, which also was good in a way because I didn't have to think about it so much. But I went in with the casting director on a Wednesday. He called me back on a Friday. I was told to straighten my hair because my hair was curly. And they said absolutely not, and they said to wear something different as well. So I was nervous, and I got over there, and I had to buy a straightener because my hair happened to be curly that day, and it was very last minute. I was in a Starbucks bathroom straightening my hair. And so that was great. I sang Fly Me to the Moon, because for some reason that's my go-to song. I obviously don't sing it as low as Frank Sinatra does, or as well. But, and then they told me that I would be testing on Monday, and I showed up to the Fox office, and I was so nervous, and I was in the parking lot. I showed up an hour early, and I was doing my warm-ups, and I went up a little bit early, and I left my phone in the car, and I went to the floor that I was supposed to be going to, and nobody was in the office, and I had tested once before for a show, so I thought it was this weird practical joke, and that I didn't pay attention and I went to the wrong floor. And finally I found, she was now my friend Stephanie, and she was like, "Oh no, you're supposed to be over here." I signed my paperwork, and Sharon Klein came out and said, "Is your paperwork signed?" I said, "Yes," and she says, "Fantastic, you start work in 2 days." And I screamed at her. I thought it was a lie. It's rare, and I hadn't met anybody. I hadn't met Ryan or Dante or Ian, and so it was scary coming to set on the first day. It really felt like the first day of school, but of course, with these guys, it quickly dissolves and you find your best friends. So.
And I was doing South Pacific on Broadway at the time. And I auditioned on tape in New York. I brought my ukulele in and I sang "Somewhere Over the Rainbow." And sing it! And then
No, seriously, sing it.
Yeah, sing it.
Okay. Somewhere over the rainbow, they like me. Actually, Ryan Murphy said the reason why I got the part was because of the boots I was wearing. He really liked my boots. And that kind of sealed the deal for me. So then I flew to LA and did the studio and network test. And
you saw the glass in the road from my car.
Yeah, I saw the cuts in the glass. I was there for that day, yes.
Yeah.
Well, one of the many things that separates the show from High School Musical is the incredible music you're hearing. So I'm curious to know, how do you guys pick the music? Yes. And can you let us know of any other songs that we might be hearing over the season?
I can honestly say that we are the only television show that is going to do a Barbra Streisand and a Rolling Stones number. In the same episode. Seconds apart from each other. We've produced over 60 tracks so far, so you've got a lot of music coming up for those of you who saw the pilot. As we've been doing the show more and more, we've learned how to do it. And we started with the idea of doing 3 or 4 songs a number, and sometimes we're doing an episode, and sometimes we're doing as much as 6 or 7. So we're trying to get as much music in the show as possible. And the music, the selection process comes right out of the writer's room. The 2 people who aren't here who are key to the creative process are Brad Falchuk and Ryan Murphy. Ryan's our mad genius, and Brad is his writing partner and has directed a number of episodes. And all of the song selections come from the writing process. They're all informed by the theme of the episode, and they generally we hear the titles long before we get to read a script because of the clearance process and the production process. You want to talk about how they?
Yeah, we usually we write the show thematically rather than plot-wise. So there wouldn't really ever be, you'd think like an episode about like homecoming. It would be it's more about what's happening to the characters internally, and therefore like we try to pick music that speaks to that. So we'll be in the writer's room just pitching ideas, and we'll throw out things like Van Halen's Jump or whatever, and just
Don't give anything away.
songs come right. Not that song. That song's totally not in the show. Yes, it is. So that's how it comes about. And then Ryan is kind of he's kind of the point man for music. He has a very good brain, and also like a great taste for what's popular. And whereas I know mine and Brad's tastes are much more obscure. So it's actually that music really comes out of Ryan's head. If we did the music that I would want to do, no one would watch the show. But anyway, that's how the music comes about, and then we kind of write around it.
And we can expect the soundtrack when?
Oh, we're really lucky. Columbia Epic Records are our music partner, and we're hoping in success that you guys would have that we'll have a soundtrack in November. It was really amazing the night that the pilot aired, because we had no idea what was going to happen or what the response would be, and to go on to sites like Twitter or to go on to iTunes and to watch the track climb the singles to number 4 and then number 1 was incredibly exciting.
All right, I'm going to ask one more question, and then I'm going to open up to fan questions, so if you guys can get ready for that. I think the microphones are down there. So I was wondering, I hear that there's a tour in the works. Can we have some news on some tour?
The cast is going to be doing a promotional tour in the fall. Well, actually, in about 3 weeks. 3 weeks, I think. Going to how many cities? I've lost track. 10
cities.
10 cities.
In 12 days.
10 cities, 12 days.
We're all going to be on one plane together.
Drink up.
Crazy.
And what's going to be happening on the tour? What can fans expect?
We're going to get to go to locations. I believe we're going to be at Hot Topics stores.
Hot Topics
In each
is
of
our partner.
the locations. And yeah, just getting to sort of meet people and spread the word of Glee.
Details on Twitter?
Twitter, yes.
Twitter, Glee, at Glee TV?
There's Glee TV.
And Glee all over Twitter.
We will be twittering every minute.
Glee on Fox.
Glee on Fox, thank you.
All right, I think we have some fan questions.
Hi, I just want to say, Lee Michelle, you're wonderful in Spring Awakening.
Thank you.
But also, my question is just like the music, how often you use it, because you could have easily just had the numbers and that's the only time you hear them sing, but you use it like in a musical, like on Broadway, where it shows their emotions to it. So, like, why did you choose it, and how you all think about that?
We realized what we didn't want to do is have a show where people just broke out in a song. I think that isolates is a little alienating for people. So as we figured, as long as we ground the singing in a functional place, as long as they're rehearsing a song, they're on stage alone or singing alone with a guitar, you can then explore the inner life of the character. You can then see, like, well, they are on stage, but like when they're walking down the hallway, that's what they're feeling as well. So as long as we do that, you can kind of buy, as an audience member, a little bit more of a suspension of disbelief. But that was a very, very, very important part of this, to say, like, there are definite rules about, like, when the singing happens. And it's because you don't need to, because these kids have music in their lives all around. We were kind of blessed with a storyline and like a framework where you didn't need to do that. People didn't have to just suddenly be like, oh, that song will also not be featured in the show. Anyway. Yeah.
Hi. I know. Hello. I noticed that on the second episode, the romantic storyline advanced so far, and I wanted to know if there was any discussion whether not to do any filler episodes or to stall the romantic plot.
Which one are you talking about?
Well, I noticed that the two main characters kissed already, and the two faculty members already started flirting. And I thought that was great for a second episode.
There was a moment where we went in to pitch the show to the network, and Ryan started describing the first couple of episodes, and Kevin said, well, that's fantastic, that's a lot of story in a short period of time, and you're afraid you're going to burn through all of the story. And I said, I don't know how to do it any other way. And for those of you who are fans of shows like Nip Tuck, you know, they don't know how to do it any other way. And I think, hopefully, you guys enjoy it. You want to get on with the story.
It's more fun to write. You then never, if you have a good, Ryan's great about it, that if you have a good idea, you'd be like, oh, that'd be great, maybe 3 or 4 episodes down the road. You'd be like, no, we'll do it now. And then even if you end up, it makes it much more interesting as you go down the road, that you're like, oh my God, we have so many more options, rather than kind of stalling for something, which is boring to write to, and I think sometimes can be boring as audience, that you're like, come on.
I think that's what's so great about Glee is it's not what you expect. You're not going to wait a whole season to see the two characters kiss on the lips. They take care of it right away.
And it's like it's obvious it's going to happen.
Yeah, but I mean, what's so great about our writers is that there's so many amazing storylines, and what they do with those are not just traditional. They're so interesting and so detailed, and especially the storyline between Quinn, Finn, and Rachel, it just goes to a whole place that I don't even think you'd ever expect, and that's what makes it so interesting and different.
And it's amazing because sometimes I read the scripts and I'm like, oh no, they're writing themselves into a corner. And then it's amazing to read the next script and see how they get out of it and make it just so complex and so interesting. So it's very complex and interesting.
You guys are demanding, you know, you've got a lot of different things to look at. There's a lot of different entertainment out there, and we want to get your attention, we want to keep your attention, we want to keep you engaged as much as we can.
Hi, Leah. Hi. Well, definitely waking up at 6 a.m. is something that is different for me. But I've discovered that I'm quite a morning person. I actually live with Diana, so she sees how happy I am in the morning. But I really love it. I really do miss the excitement of being in front of a live audience and like feeding off the energy of the people, and Matt knows, the same thing. But right now I'm having so much fun working. Every day we go to work, you have one scene, you work on it really hard, and then you say goodbye to that scene, and you go on to the next one. Whereas in theater, you're telling the same story every night, which is great. It's so interesting to bring new life to the same story and how to keep it alive and real. So there's, pros and cons to both, but right now, this is really exciting. And, I get to be a part of a television show that has singing involved, which is what I love to do. So for me, it's kind of the best of both worlds. Thank you.
Hi, Leah.
Pour me some more water.
Hi, Leah.
I was also able to catch you in Spring Awakening, and you were amazing.
Thank you.
But my question is, again, to the rest of the whole cast, singing more traditional Broadway type music and Indigo singing more popular music that has like a Broadway twist to it. Is there any difference that you have to do for your vocal conditioning, or the way you sing it, or the way you present it?
I guess it's as far as the preparation, it's all the same. I mean, I've had some like Broadway sort of habits that I've had to get rid of, like Matt and I both have like intense Broadway vibrato, and our music producers try to get us to sort of eliminate when we're doing, more like pop songs and stuff like that. It's been a challenge. I never thought I'd be able to sing a Rihanna song. That was one of the hardest songs I've ever had to do, and Matt, you've been doing a lot of the rap, hip hop songs and stuff like that. It's different. It's definitely a challenge, but we have great people helping us, and we've kind of learned that there's a lot more that we can do. I know I have that I didn't ever think I would be able to.
Yeah, the music producers are amazing. This guy Adam Anders, he's very just like a genius at what he does, and it makes a really comfortable setting in the recording studio. It's interesting, because when we're singing, it's a little different on TV, because you're kind of singing to yourself. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but we're lip singing. Not really, but
Well, lip singing to yourself.
to yourself. We actually have to sing because you have to make the veins in your neck it has to look like you're singing. Well, we are singing when we're doing it, but most of the hard work is done in the recording studio, which is a totally different experience from live.
I don't know if I'm speaking out of class by saying this, but with the lovely and talented and tiny Kristen Chenoweth is... She's tiny. She's going to be on the show in, I believe it's our 4th episode. But she's just undescribably talented, but she was super, I hope I'm not talking out of class, was super nervous about coming in and singing pop songs, and I think kind of freaked out. She had to sing there's a hard song that she sings, and came in and Adam really had to coach her through. She was like, I've never sung like this, I'm going to sound terrible, I don't think this is the right key, and then, so she had never really sung a kind of I don't know, a monster power ballad. It sounds amazing, but there must be some kind of different style, at least for her. The thing is, she had the chops to do it. It's an incredible rendition.
Well, you kind of answered, no you didn't, but you talked about Kristen Chenoweth, and I was wondering if any other Broadway stars will be guest starring Idina Menzel.
He doesn't sing, but Josh Groban does make an appearance. Victor Garber appears also.
Deborah Monk, Eve.
Eve is making an appearance in an upcoming episode. Not Broadway, obviously. But
Right.
That's it.
I don't know. We gotta cook up some more.
Yep.
So as you notice, this ballroom is completely full, and I think it's because everyone wants to thank you for putting on TV such an original show. And also for making musicals accessible to straight males.
I've never even seen a musical.
So my question is, you know, it's a new show, and I'm trying to tell my friends about it, but I don't know exactly how to describe it. I mean, it's not High School Musical, it's not Knit Tuck. So I want to hear from each of you, how would you sort of pitch this show?
I have the same problem as you. I don't know how to describe it to people. I just say, I mean, you just have to watch it. Because it really is original. It's its own thing. It's, you know, every now and then something comes along, you know, because you compare everything. It's like, oh, that's kind of like Law and Order is kind of like this. But, I mean, you can't compare this show to anything. It's so fresh and original. So I have the same problem as you do.
I will be thinking about this answer for days now. I like to say that Glee reminds me of the movie Election. It has a lot of similarities to that. You know, it's definitely not High School Musical, but you know, the same people that watched that High School Musical would love Glee, but so would, you know, my parents and grandparents and stuff like that. It's really accessible for so many people. It's funny, it makes you laugh, it makes you cry. You know, it has a lot of everything.
The baby cried.
There you go.
Babies hate our show.
Babies here.
For babies. I've heard it put, and I like this. It's like as if High School Musical had been punched in the stomach and had its lunch money stolen.
You know, I think to add to what everybody said so far, you know, I was explaining to friends when I first started filming, and I kind of brought up Election and Freaks and Geeks and other things, but you know, are great things to compare something to, but this is so new, and it's a comedy, first and foremost, but you know, you are expanding upon real things that you're going through as teenagers in high school, and real things that are adults going through, you know, whether it's with the students or separately on their own, and there's something for everybody, and on top of that, there's wonderful, wonderful performance numbers, and there really, truly is something for everybody, and every one of my friends or relatives or neighbors that have seen it have all commented on a different thing that they really like, and I think that's so special as well, because, you know, that really shows that, you know,